So I'm 23. I'm from the UK. I run a faceless YouTube channel called Wi-Fi Uni with 25,000 subscribers, and it makes me around 2 grand a month. And today I want to talk about something that I think is genuinely the most underrated skill in making money online. And it's not a skill that sounds exciting or impressive. It's not something people make courses about. It's not something that gets talked about in the same breath as funnels or algorithms or viral content strategies. And that thing is just consistency. And I want to explain why I think it matters more than pretty much everything else combined. Please excuse this AI slop voice. I promise the value in this video is worth it. So let me start with what I mean by consistency, because I think the word gets thrown around a lot in a way that makes it sound simple, like just post regularly and you'll be fine. And that's true, but it's also kind of missing the deeper point. Because the reason consistency matters isn't just that it keeps your channel active or keeps your audience engaged. It's that consistency is the mechanism by which all the other stuff you're doing actually compounds. And without it, nothing compounds. It just stays flat. And what I mean by that is every video I post is a small bet. Like, I'm betting that this piece of content will find some people, some of them will like it enough to subscribe, some of those subscribers will watch the next video. And over time, that builds into an audience, and those audience attract sponsors, and those sponsors pay me. And the money I make from one video funds the time I spend on the next one. And the whole thing is a loop that gets more valuable the longer it runs, but only if I keep posting, because the moment I stop, the loop breaks. The algorithm stops pushing the channel, the subscribers go cold, the sponsors stop emailing, and the whole compounding effect stops. So consistency isn't just a nice habit, it's literally the engine that makes everything else work. And I think most people don't fully grasp that until they've been at something long enough to see what it looks like when the compounding kicks in. The first place I really noticed this was with the YouTube algorithm. And this is probably the most concrete example of consistency having a measurable effect. YouTube wants to recommend channels that post regularly. And what this means in practice is that a channel posting every other day is going to get pushed more than a channel posting sporadically, even if the sporadic channel has better individual videos, because YouTube is essentially trying to figure out whether recommending your channel to someone is a safe bet. And a channel that posts consistently tells the algorithm, yes, this channel will still be here next week. It's worth building an audience around. Whereas a channel that posts randomly is a less reliable bet and gets treated accordingly. And this showed up really clearly for me in the early months, because I was posting every other day, even when the videos were getting barely any views. And what was happening during that period, even though it didn't feel like anything was happening, was that YouTube was building up a picture of my channel, categorizing it, figuring out who to show it to. And that groundwork only got laid because I was consistent enough to give it the data it needed. And when one video eventually popped and YouTube started pushing the channel more broadly, there was a back catalog of consistent content behind it that gave people somewhere to go and gave the algorithm confidence that the channel was worth recommending. If I'd been inconsistent during that period, posting when I felt like it, taking weeks off when the numbers looked bad, that groundwork would never have been laid, and that turning point would never have come, or it would have come much later. The second place consistency showed up was with sponsors, and this one is a bit less obvious, but I think it's actually really important. The reason brands email me rather than me having to go out and pitch them is volume. Like, there are just a lot of Wi-Fi Uni videos out there, and a company looking for creators in the AI niche is going to find a channel that posts daily a lot more easily than one that posts occasionally. And when they look at the channel and see consistent output, they also get a signal that this is a professional operation. Like, this person is serious about it. They're going to deliver what they promise. They're not going to disappear after one deal. And that reliability is genuinely valuable to a sponsor, because the thing they're most afraid of when working with a smaller creator is that the creator flakes. Like, they agree to do a video and then it never happens, or it happens 3 months later, or the quality is inconsistent. And a channel with a long track record of consistent posting tells the sponsor that's not going to happen here. And what this leads to is brands being more willing to reach out, more willing to say yes quickly, and more willing to come back for repeat deals. So consistency directly drives the sponsor income, not just through the algorithm and the visibility it creates, but through the trust signal it sends to the companies that end up paying me. The third place is affiliates. And this one is maybe the simplest connection, which is just that affiliate income is a function of how many videos have the link in the description. And more consistent posting means more videos, means more links, means more passive income. And that compounds in a really satisfying way over time, because every video I've ever made that mentions a relevant tool has that affiliate link in it. And those old videos are still getting views, still sending clicks, still earning. And the only reason there are hundreds of those videos rather than a handful is because I posted consistently over 2 years. Like, the affiliate income I earn today isn't just from videos I made this week. It's from videos I made 6 months ago, a year ago, and those earn without me doing anything. And that passive income layer only exists because of the volume that consistency created. The school community is a slightly different example, but I think it's worth including because it shows how consistency matters even outside of YouTube itself. The reason people join the school is that they've watched enough Wi-Fi Uni videos to trust that I know what I'm talking about. And that trust is built through consistency. Like, no single video convinces someone to pay $10 or $15 or $50 a month. It's the accumulation of videos, the pattern of showing up regularly and delivering useful content that builds the credibility that makes the community feel worth joining. And within the school itself, consistency matters too. Like, I post daily niche drops in there, I show up and give feedback, I add to the courses, and that consistency is what keeps the churn low. Because if members can see that I'm active and the community is alive and growing, they have a reason to stay. Whereas if I went quiet for a few weeks, the value proposition falls apart pretty quickly. So the same principle that drives the YouTube growth drives the community retention. And I think that's telling. Like, consistency isn't just a YouTube strategy. It's a fundamental principle of building anything that compounds. And I want to talk about the harder side of this too, because I don't want this to sound like I'm just telling you to post every day and everything will be fine. Because there's a specific psychological challenge to consistency that I think is worth acknowledging. The hardest period of being consistent is the early phase, when nothing seems to be working. And what makes it hard is that consistency in that period feels irrational. Like, the evidence in front of you, the low view counts, the flat subscriber graph, the absence of any sponsor emails, all of it is telling you that what you're doing isn't working and you should stop or change something. And the only thing that keeps you going is a belief that the compounding hasn't kicked in yet, but it will. And that belief is hard to maintain when there's no external validation of it. And I think this is genuinely where most people fail. Not because they don't have good ideas or good content or a good niche, but because they can't maintain consistency through that early period where it looks like it's not working. And they either quit or they post erratically, which breaks the compounding loop and means the turning point never comes. The thing I kept reminding myself during that period was that I wasn't making videos for the views they'd get this week. I was making videos for the channel they'd build over a year. And those are completely different time horizons. And shifting to the longer time horizon made it easier to keep going. Because by that measure, every video was a success, just by existing, regardless of how many views it got in the first week. So if there's one thing I'd want someone to take from this video, it's that before you think about your niche, before you think about your content strategy, before you think about thumbnails or titles or the algorithm, you need to honestly ask yourself whether you can show up consistently for long enough that the compounding has a chance to work. Because if you can't, none of the other stuff matters. And if you can, most of the other stuff figures itself out eventually. 2 years of posting every other day, a back catalog of hundreds of videos, a steady stream of sponsor emails, affiliate links earning passively across all of that content, a school community that compounds month on month, all of it comes back to the same thing, which is that I just kept going when it was easy and when it wasn't. And I think that's genuinely the most useful thing I can tell someone who wants to build something like this. If you want more direct help building something with this kind of model, I do have a school community linked in the description. There's one-to-one feedback available depending on which tier you join. No pressure either way. Cheers for watching.